ring.
Well, it's my friend's. I'm gonna send it to her.
Do I get a reward?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the Hacking Humans podcast, an occasional series we call Hacking Humans Goes to the Movies. I'm Dave Bittner, and joining me is my CyberWire colleague, Rick Howard. Hello, Rick.
Hey, Dave. How's it going?
Going well, thank you. On this show, Rick and I look at some of our favorite clips from cinema and television, clips which demonstrate some of the scams and schemes that Joe Carrigan and I talk about on Hacking Humans. And our special guest this episode is Amanda Fennell from Relativity. Amanda, welcome.
Woot woot. I'm here.
Yay.
Let's do it.
Welcome, Amanda.
Yay.
I've been trying to get
All
this done. I'm glad you're here. It's
I
fantastic.
know.
Yes,
Thank you.
indeed. All right. Well, we've got some fun clips to share, so stay tuned. We will be right back after this message from our show's sponsor. Let's pause here for a word from our sponsor, Keeper. Imagine this scenario. You're out of the office unexpectedly, and a colleague pings you because they need access to some system you have credentials for. Now, our listeners would never send passwords over email or Slack, but what about your coworkers? How many organizations out there are sending logins back and forth in plain text? Worse yet, how many just store all their logins on a shared spreadsheet? We all know that human errors are the biggest threat to your organization's security, but did you know that weak or stolen passwords account for over 80% of all data breaches? There are tools out there that allow you to share credentials, set access permissions, and monitor the dark web for stolen logins. Keeper Security's enterprise password management platform does just that. Keeper locks down logins, payment cards, confidential documents, API keys, and database passwords in a patented zero-knowledge encrypted vault. And it takes less than an hour to deploy across your organization. Sign up for a Keeper free trial for your organization today and get a free 3-year personal plan. Stop sharing emails and spreadsheets with keys to the kingdom. Get started by visiting keepersecurity.com/hackinghumans. And we thank Keeper Security for sponsoring our show. All right, we are back, and I am going to kick things off for us this time. My clip I'm going to start off with is from the 2009 comedy horror film Zombieland. Have either of you seen this film?
Great choice. Anything with zombies. It's fantastic.
Amanda, are you a zombie fan?
I am a huge fan.
Okay. So in this scene, we've got a pair of con artist sisters whose name in the film are Wichita and Little Rock. They had creative parents, I guess. And they're executing what's known as a violin scam. And this is where someone convinces another person that something of value has been lost. And this scene takes place at a gas station. And Emma Stone and Abigail Breslin are the scamming sisters. And we start off with Emma Stone is at this gas station, and she's got her car parked in front of the gas pumps, and she is down on her hands and knees searching for something, and that is where the clip begins. I'll roll it now.
What are you looking for?
My engagement ring. I took it off to pump my
So
gas.
she's in
and I thought
distress. Let's
I
just
put it
say.
in my purse, but it must have fallen out. And I'm late for my flight, and
Well, listen, I'll find your ring and I'll FedEx it to you.
I'll give you a reward.
Still be silly.
$3,000. It's worth more than my car.
Just give me
$3,000.
your number. Yeah, I'll find it. Yeah, I'll start looking for it right now. Yeah, because I got nothing else to do. I was engaged once, but I'm single now.
I'm so surprised.
Bye.
Shocked, I say.
Hope you make your flight.
That guy probably hasn't had a date in 10 years.
But I know it's around here somewhere. She's on a plane, that's the beauty of it. Let me call you back. Hey, you found my ring. Thanks. I've been looking all over for it.
Your ring?
It was my friend's. You know, I'm gonna send it to her.
Do I get a reward?
40, 60, 80, 400. That's it. That's the whole register. You made someone very happy.
You too. Nice. How many left?
Let me see. Enough for us to get to California. Someday I want a ring this big.
For the low price of $30 sold.
All right, what do you guys think?
Oh, man, I gotta tell you. So if I remember correctly, they're named that because that's where they're from. Like that's their city. I think that's like why they were named these things or whatever. But it always reminds me of like the importance that you learned from the early on one from sneakers is that it's all about stress with humans, right? It's always about the stressful situation that makes us do foolish things. So Rick, I don't know what your first takeaway is, but my first one is that it's always about the emotion and the acting that takes place that in order to pull on those heartstrings.
Well, what got me was Emma Stone, who, can I say this on a public podcast? She's looking fine, okay? And, right?
I girl crush on
easy
her.
on the eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's on her hands and knees as the gas station attendant walks out. Okay, that's an easy mark in my mind.
Wearing a pair of Christian Louboutin shoes, by the way. I saw the red bottom soles. So yeah, she's obviously like putting across the idea that she has wealth and opulence. Yeah. She's got a BMW. She's got an expensive, supposedly $3,000 ring. Like, I don't know, guys. My diamond ring is a lot more than that. So I'm wondering, like,
well, that's the reward she offers. Yeah, she says the ring is worth more than her car. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would indicate, above 20, 30 grand, something like that. So
well, that looked like a 6 Series, but actually, so I love cars. So like it was a more recent model of the BMW, at least 55,000. So
yeah.
So she very quickly says I'll give you $3,000 for it. And the guy is taken aback just for a second and he sees the money. It's like the old Bugs Bunny cartoons where the dollar signs are in the guy's eyes, right? You get to see it happening. That's going to be some easy money for him. That's right.
Right.
Well, so Dave, why is this called the violin scheme? Is that what it is?
It's called the violin scam because I guess originally back when people started doing it, the object of value was a violin. Someone would, say, "Oh, I lost my violin. I left my violin behind somewhere." Or if you find my,
I thought it was because they were singing they were crying because they'd lost something invaluable, play a violin of sorrow for me. So I love yours better. Yeah,
could be that's my understanding. But of course, these things are often the stories behind them are often lost to history. But it's interesting how they both the two gals who are involved in this scam. Obviously, they're in cahoots together, and then the younger woman comes in, and she gets her $400 because the guy thinks that he's going to get $3,000. So $400 for the ring, easy calculation. Yep. But that's the actual scam, right? The two of them make it off with $400. I guess less than an hour, and you can do well with that.
I think so.
And what'd she say? At least 30 more? Is that what she said?
Well, that's the part I like the best when they got back to the car and she goes, "How many more rings we have left?" And they pull out an envelope of 30 of these cheap rings, right? It's like, oh my goodness, that's a big payday at the end if you get money $400 for each one of those. Yeah.
No, they had it down and they're good at it. You see how this totally see how this one could work, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know, but I feel like I'm looking back to try to remember if I've ever fallen for something like this. But yeah, so I do think it is one of those just infallible problems with human beings that we all have. Like, we want to be helpful. We want to help somebody who's in distress, but certainly if you're preying upon somebody who would find Emma Stone attractive, they're definitely going to want to help.
Which is most human beings.
Most human beings, yeah. I will say I brought her up one time with my husband because I love her, and he was like, "I don't see it," and I was like, "You're lying. Come on, you're lying." But yeah, so I agree with Emma Stone.
I think one of the important things here is that first the guy's coming out just trying to help her. Maybe he's gonna, get a chance with her, and then he, like on a dime, he turns on her and says, "Oh, I'm going to scam her on this." Right. So I think that's an important piece of this.
Yeah.
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 And he's single.
I will share with you guys. I did fall for one of these once, Amanda.
Oh, no.
You asked. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a variation of this scam. It's similar to this scam, and you see it happening a lot these days. Someone will they'll pretend to be broken down on the side of the road at an off-ramp from a highway. So as you're coming off the highway, they flag you down, and they ask you for money to get some gas. They say they're out of gas, but they offer you their something of value, a gold ring, a gold chain, something like that, in exchange for the money. I stopped to help someone who, was flagging me down. I was trying to be helpful, and we went through this whole thing, and he offered me his gold ring and a gold chain, and I said, no. I said, why don't you just let me drive you to the gas station, and I'll get you some gas, and we'll come back. I'm happy to do that. I'm not in a hurry, and then we can get you the gas and off your way. And he had my wife and my baby are in the car, and I'll just walk, and this, that, and the other thing. So I ended up giving him $20, and I said, no, I don't need your ring. I don't need your, thank you for your good faith offer, but I don't need those things. Here's some money. Good luck to you. And off I went. And only later did it hit me, and I went, you know what?
Maybe.
But here's the thing. Joe and I have talked about this on Hacking Humans a lot, that I have made the deliberate decision that I would rather go through life occasionally being scammed by people and being okay with it than going through life cynically believing that everyone is out to scam me.
I'm with you, Dave. I'm not going to worry about that. You gave $20 to help somebody. Okay, it doesn't matter if he was trying to scam you or not. Okay,
right?
You lightened, elevated your soul a little bit that day. So good for you, sir.
I would think what do you think of that, Amanda? Was I just being a fool, or
no? I think it's odd to have 3 security people on a podcast and we're all like optimists. But yeah, I also
you're so right.
Yeah, like why are we all optimistic? I don't know, but I will say there's this great like a mantra or something that was like a saying that somebody once told me. I was starting to try to do investments, and he gave me this one piece of advice, this guy named Chris, and he goes, Amanda, never put anything on the line you're not willing to lose. And I think it's the same. Like, so you lost $20, but you were willing to lose it. And so it's okay.
Right.
And I think that's really where you make that cost benefit analysis of like, sure, maybe you're being scammed, but you were okay with giving $20 towards that. And so you never put anything on the line you're not willing to lose. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a great way to frame it. All right. Well, that is my clip this week. Rick, we are going to move on to you because your clip this week is remarkably similar to mine. So
unplanned. Okay.
No,
unplanned.
we did not coordinate this for better or for worse.
Yeah.
So what do you have going on here?
Yeah, my clip this week is from the 1997 movie called Traveler, okay, directed by Jack Green. You guys probably know him as a cinematographer from Unforgiven, the great Clint Eastwood movie. And it stars the late, great Bill Paxton, best known for, my favorite movies like Aliens and Tombstone and Apollo 13. And a very young Mark Wahlberg, best known for Boogie Nights and The Departed in my mind. And one more, and I always mispronounce her name. Maybe you guys can help me. Her name is Juliana Margulies, best known for the TV show ER. Are you familiar with her, Amanda?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched ER when it was a thing. Like, I think I was like 14. I was totally watching it. But when George Clooney was first on scene, man.
Oh, there you go.
Right. Yeah, I was a few
the movie's
years older.
About. No
but
kidding.
I think she's probably better known now for being the star of the show The Good Wife.
That's right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
So the movie's about a young man, Wahlberg, and this, like I said, remember, it's a very young Wahlberg who reestablishes some old family ties with a clan of gypsy-like grifters in rural North Carolina. And so this is the perfect movie for Hacking Humans Goes to the Movies. It's about a giant family of con men and women, right? So this clip is Wahlberg's first successful grift as part of the clan. Now, remember, like I said, Wahlberg is young. And he walks into a local dive bar wearing a brand new suit, not an expensive suit, more like a suit you get off the rack at Walmart, but a new suit. And he looks a bit naive, and Margulies is tending the bar. So play the first part of this, Dave.
All right.
What can I get you?
Martini, please.
This ain't exactly the Ritz. You want to order something normal?
Pardon me, a bottle of Bud be fine.
Where are you from?
Atlanta. It's up here on business.
What kind of business you in?
Jewelry?
Ain't you kind of young to be out on the road selling?
My dad owns a company.
It's nice to have a leg up, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
That's nice.
It's been in my family for years.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
It's $2 for the beer.
All right, stop it there, Dave. So these are the preliminaries. It's called playing the con in the con man biz, basically befriending the victim. Wahlberg is establishing himself as a young man with money in the jewelry business and shows Margulies what appears to be an expensive pin in his lapel, which becomes important later. He's a big tipper and buys a round of for the patrons in the bar. All right, roll the next piece.
Thanks. Jewelry business is treating you pretty good.
Well, I guess I like to spread it around.
That's nice. I could use it.
Why don't you go set them up all around? The rest is for you.
Wow. Thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Thanks, man.
Hey, you okay?
No, my stick pin is gone. I can't find it.
Well, it's got to be around here somewhere.
I looked. Somebody must have walked off with it.
Nobody here do that. Did you look over by the bar?
No.
All right, stop it there, David. All right, this part's called the tale. Wahlberg tells Margulies that he's lost his very expensive lapel pin, and everybody in the bar stops what they're doing and looks for it. All right, roll the clip again.
This old man gave it to him. Shit. Listen, I'm gonna be here for a couple of days. I'm staying at the Sunset Motel. You know where it is?
Yeah, sure. It's right down the street.
Room 125. My name's Jim Tom Clark. Can you remember it?
Sure, Jim Tom Clark, room 125.
Listen, I gotta get it back. I'll pay $1,000 cash if you find it. No questions asked.
Well, I'll be sure to keep an eye out for it.
I'm gonna check back tomorrow. If it turns up, you call me. I'll come right back over. I remember, $1,000 cash to anybody who finds it.
All right, stop there, Dave. Does this sound exactly like Zombieland?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, and so it's interesting to me that he kind of he announces to everybody at the bar,
Yeah.
who he's already made friends with by buying everybody around, all the regulars, that there's $1,000 cash in play here if anybody finds this pin. Do I have that right?
Yep. Yeah, when he leaves the bar, everybody gets on their hands and knees and starts looking for this thing because they know money is in the bag if they can just find it.
So what ends up happening?
Well, we're going to get to that. So
Okay.
Wahlberg goes back to his hotel where his partner, Bill Paxton, is waiting and then sends Paxton in to finish the con. Paxton goes to the bar, buys a beer from Margulies, and pretends to drop something on the floor. When he comes back, he has the pin, Wahlberg's lapel pin, in his hands. Margulies sees her opportunity and asks Paxton to meet her at the end of the bar, away from the ears of everybody, and tries to con on her own. Okay, roll this last piece.
That's mine.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I've been looking for it all night. My daddy gave me that pin. It's been in the family forever. You don't believe me. I don't believe this.
Why'd you move me down the bar then?
You think I want them knowing my business? There'd be no end to it, just be one thing after the next. Now, can I have my pin?
believe I deserve a reward.
Okay, that's fair. I'll give you $5. That's a little cheap, isn't it? Okay, 10.
You know what I think?
What?
I don't think this is your pen at all. I think you're trying to put one over on me.
You're starting to make me mad. $100.
I don't think so. This looks like money to me.
I'm gonna go call the police. 200.
Now it gets interesting. 400.
No.
5.
Hey, you just said 400.
Then I said 5, 6.
But now wait a minute. Are you finished? I'll give you $500. And that's just for the sentimental value.
Honey, you are as cute as all get out, but you're traveling in some pretty high cotton. Where are you going to get $500?
I'll get it. We got a deal.
Okay, you can stop it there, Dave. She pulls the money out of the till, okay, gives him the money, and Paxton walks out. And then those two, Wahlberg and Paxton, make a run for it, and she's out all that money, right? It's the exact same scam that we just saw in Zombieland. I love that. Have you guys seen that movie before?
I had not seen that movie before, but I have a lot to say about this. Dave, have you seen this movie before?
No, this movie is new to me.
I'd never seen it before. But when I saw Wahlberg and Paxton, I said, I'm in. All right. So what do you think, Amanda? What's your first thought here?
So what's interesting, sometimes I feel like it's an orchestra of words. And so, you said the summary of this was about grifting because they're like a family of like vagabonds, grifters, that kind of thing or whatever. So the term grift I'm familiar with, and it's because my stepmother is actually Dutch. And the Dutch word that this is derived from, supposedly, is actually a Dutch word called gracht, which means like digging, like to dig your own grave kind of thing.
Oh,
and so the exchange between these people really does feel like you're digging a grave, like you're going deeper and deeper.
Does.
So that was like one thing that kind of flowed back and forth from it. The other thing is that whenever they're negotiating, whenever Bill Paxton's negotiating and he goes up, that is 100% what I do every time I'm negotiating. If somebody doesn't give me what I want, I go up another 100. And they're always like, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. I'm like, it's how it works for me. Should have taken the first offer. And you'd be surprised how quickly people grab on because they don't want it to go any higher. They're like, fine. That's fine. We'll do that. So I thought that was awesome.
Any thoughts there, Dave?
Well, it was interesting to me that, as you would expect, being the professional grifter, that Paxton had the edge here, right? As Amanda was saying, by upping the value every time, he was putting the emotional pressure on. He was turning up the heat on her to make this end, to make the bleeding end, and she fell for it.
I want to go back to something that Amanda said. The human nature of this, right? Margulies goes, I'm going to call the police and get you out of here. And then 2 beats go by and then she makes another offer, okay, for $200 or something like that. It's like, oh, okay, I see where this is.
That is awesome. But so I guess the only thing is she took the 500 or whatever it was out of the till. Is that what happens in the movie?
Out of the till. Yeah,
which is the same thing the gas station guy did.
Yep, exactly the same. Right, exactly the same. Right. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. So not only did they lose the money, but they're probably going to lose their jobs.
She does. She absolutely gets fired. Okay. And then a whole romance starts between Paxton and Margulies because he feels bad that he, got her fired. So, but that's another story.
Well, It's a movie. All right. Well, I think it's fascinating to me that we have these 2 clips from 2 very different movies, but it is the same scam in both of them, just played out in a different way. Amanda, why don't you take us out of here today? What do you have to share with us?
All right. So I am going to use a really short clip, actually. I think it's like 30 seconds. It's not very long. But a lot of people have thought about like the girl with the dragon tattoo. And I remember this very vividly in 2009 when this first version came out, not the Daniel Craig one, the original one. When this came out,
I just want to get on record here. The better one.
The better one, right? This particular movie had come out, and it's in Swedish. But the reason why I remember this movie so well, and I haven't seen it since 2009, which is why it's hard for me to find the scene that I was looking for. I remember watching this movie, and I don't know if you sit with your family when they see anything with computer hacking, they always look at you. Like, is this accurate? You know?
Yeah.
And this movie was one of the first. I always
tell them it is. Whatever is going on, totally accurate. Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly. Swordfish, 100%. That's what
100%. Yeah.
Enhance, magnify.
So this particular movie has a few different things, but I'm just going to show one clip that kind of gives you a taste of it. But to set the stage, at this point, we basically have a 2009 Swedish-Danish thriller, if you will, with a German producer. And the main character is essentially played by Noomi Rapace, I think is how we pronounce her name, potentially. I don't know. But Lisbeth,
Rapace might be right. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
It might be. I'm hoping. But so Lisbeth Salander is basically a freelance kind of investigator, if you will. She's got a really crazy background. Really lauded in a lot of the books and then later in the movies about her hacking skills. So we're just going to look at about 30 seconds of what that looks like and how that displays on film. And then I'm going to pull apart a little bit what we think about this.
All right, here's the clip.
Lots of pictures taken. Rapace's doing something with her laptop, getting the photos on. Thousands, it looks like. Code on the laptop. Financial records, names. Wow.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on there, but it's exciting.
I know. Okay, so I'm going to pull this apart for you both in case you haven't seen it or it's been a while since you've seen it. So
yeah,
the difficulty that we have with this is a few things, but the way that this is depicted is that she just naturally is able to pull in, as you mentioned, like thousands of photographs she just took on surveillance. And then she uploads it. There's tons of metadata that just naturally comes up whenever she opens all these pictures. But some of the other issues that we have is that, as will come about later in this movie, is that there's apparently no point-to-point encryption. So she basically will just look for a directory and then just go on to it with no problem for Wennerstrom, who is the person she's investigating. But these people are like well-known in the financial world. They would have had some method of encryption naturally. And naturally, like SSL and TLS is not like a crazy technology. Everyone uses that. Everything is encrypted in transit with this kind of information. So the problem we have is that there's accuracy with the way that this movie depicts a lot of different things. It is eclectic. It takes a lot of different things to pull things together, to put together the pictures of an investigation. But the difficulty is speed is never correct in these movies because they have a short amount of time to get the point across. And then they try to exploit things that are just fundamental security that we're using. Encryption is just fundamentally something that we're using a lot of times, and it's like a natural default. So that's my answer.
So,
I put it forth to you too.
I will counter that you're assuming that people in the finance industry know how to use their own tools. Okay, so that has not been my experience. I'm just going to throw that out there. Okay.
I'll say that one of the things, first of all, Amanda, I agree with everything you're pointing out here, but one of the things that struck me in watching this clip is that they use the old trope that you see whenever there's a hacker doing anything on a computer, which is that not only do computer monitors display everything you're working on, but they project it onto your face.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I hadn't thought about that. But I thought you were going to say it was the old adage that they were going to play Rage Against the Machine while she's hacking. But yes, so valid point.
I thought you were going to mention that she's probably one of the first hackers in the movies that wore hoodies. Okay, because she's absolutely doing that too. All right, so
the other thing, and I couldn't find the clip in order in time for us because I really wanted to go over this one, talking about this encryption being broken. The best part that I remember from this movie, and I know it's in the book, and I believe it's transferred to the movie, she has to get onto someone's computer. So she goes to a hotel, but she has a friend of hers go and do a man-in-the-middle attack. And so I thought that was one of the best things to display about the security industry is that it's never something you go alone. You typically have to pull in a friend that happens to know a different skill set.
An insider.
And so, any of this, like you have to leverage what you can leverage to get what you're trying to get. And it's rarely going to be a unicorn of one person who can do everything. And I think that was the one thing I liked from these movies. And I didn't see all of them, but this first one, The Dragon Tattoo, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, I do think did a really good job of showing that hacking is not simple. It takes time. This particular clip's not great at it. The other ones are, I swear. Just take my word for it. And you have to have a team effort.
I remember when I was telling you guys before we started the show, my daughter turned me on to this movie back then. All right, so went and watched it, loved it. Yeah, 2009, right? And then I said, I got to read the book, thinking that it was going to be all about this hacking stuff. And the hacking stuff doesn't show up in the book until like the last 20 pages or whatever it is. All right, so
it's also
still
really
great.
Graphic,
it's still great.
horrible story, but
it's all great.
Dave, what was your experience with this? Have you seen this movie?
No, I have not.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
Did you see the Daniel Craig one? Are you a complete newbie here, Dave?
No, I have not seen the. No, I haven't.
Oh, don't bother.
I'm certainly familiar with the name of the film. It's an iconic name, and I know it seems that this movie is kind of like Black Licorice. People who like this movie really like this movie.
Yeah,
so,
that's exactly right.
But no, if you recommend it, I will have to check it out. Maybe I'll do that over the holidays or something.
I don't know if I'd recommend it. There's a reason why. It is a really graphic, violent movie and really bad murders taking place in it. So if that's not your cup of tea, if you're not a Hannibal kind of fan, then you might want to pass.
All right.
I remember when it came out, most people were turned off because you had to read the subtitles. But now that we've been doing the pandemic for so long and everybody watches movies in my age with subtitles on, it doesn't matter at all. So I
got to tell you, I'm one of those people that's like, I put subtitles on for everything. I always have. I'm everything. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, friends. Well, lots of good stuff this time through. Thank you both for taking the time and selecting these great clips. Of course, Rick Howard, always a pleasure to have you be a part with us here, and our very special guest, Amanda Fennell from Relativity. Thank you so much for joining us this week.
Thanks, Amanda. That was fantastic.
Thanks.
We want to thank our sponsor, Keeper Security, for helping make this episode possible. Cybersecurity starts with password security. Password security starts with Keeper. We want to thank the Johns Hopkins University Information Security Institute for their participation. You can learn more at isi.jhu.edu. The Hacking Humans podcast is proudly produced in Maryland at the startup studios of Data Tribe, where they're co-building the next generation of cybersecurity teams and technologies. Our senior producer is Jennifer Ivan. Our executive editor is Peter Kilpie. I'm Dave Bittner.
And I'm Rick Howard.
Thanks for listening.